Hello, I see that the footage is recording, but the stream is unavailable. If I go on the incognito window. This is my first time streaming. Hello, if you don't know who I am, because why would you? Here we go. I have the stream up in an incognito window. It seems to all be working. Let me check the audio. Don't know if you can hear repeating. Quite a bit of a delay. Oh, we got a viewer. Let me just go back to muting this. Open chat. Hello, that one. That one person's probably me. Uh, um, so today, I'm gonna be playing Minecraft, learning some streaming skills. I'll get into why I've decided streaming, a bit about myself and all that after we create our world, which let's call it uh, Starland, because my characters all themed around stars. Survival, normal, allow commands off. For the seed, let's do something a random word like subscribe. I you know I that just random out of my head. And then another random word. How about a letter or a number? How about a number? Two. Two. That was just I saw my keyboard first. And then let's just put my name. Um, no correlation between any of those words. And let's create this new world. So I'm Sam. Um, my or True Spectral S. This is a skin I made, different to the feed shiver. Very good. We got some cherry wood right off the gate. And a big cave. This seems a good choice. And then so I've for streams, I'm gonna be trying to play Minecraft every Monday for 2 to 3 hours, and then going to try to go on every Friday, to play a game that I have but not completed. So I have Kingdom Hearts scheduled in for Friday at 1 o'clock, whatever I think it's Australian Eastern Standard Time. But 1 o'clock to either 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. It's just that's right now. I can't really. I'm looking for work. So this is a good thing. But I will do something. Like, I don't want to just sit around all day. So doing something that can improve my skills. That's why I'm doing this streaming. But in terms of what skills I won't, I will get into animation one day, create my own, have my own TV show, storyboarding. But I feel I'm not very. I need to present better. I need to learn how to present better, get my ideas across, and I thought streaming would be an excellent way to get those skills. Well, I'm doing something fun. And I have a lot of uncompleted video games that I will complete, but so I'm hoping that this also lets me do that. And so I'm saying so a lot. I'm going to try not to do that, but it's been a long time since I've recorded myself by myself, like not in front of people. I used to do YouTube when I was a kid, and I got you know, I was really good at presenting myself then, but that's a skill I lost over time. But I had a skill I lost over time, and I will gain it back. And so, like, thinking and talking while playing a game is more difficult than it looks. Exactly. This stream is probably going to be one of the worst streams because, oh no, because it's my first one. I'm panicking, and I'm dead already. Luckily, we're right at spawn. Where am I? Did I go this way or the other way? This way. Don't remember the water. Okay. Let's kill this zombie. But for when I have, you know, nothing to talk about, like, obviously I can always talk about what I'm doing in the game, but, you know, there's gonna be times when I'm gonna do something boring in the game. There's so many zombies. And as you can see, I'm not very good at video games, even something like Minecraft, which is pretty simple. Creeper, and, you know, also, I didn't blow anything up. Also, you know, doing streaming while playing a game, that's a different skill in itself. But for when I don't have something to talk about, I have on the left of me a list in a Google Doc, Google Doc, where I'm going to in a Google Doc where I'm going to have a list of topics to talk about. But for now, you know, starting in Minecraft, there's a lot of things going on. Like here, there's some coal here, so I can talk about that. No one in chat yet. I mean, I don't expect there to be anyone at all for like months, to be honest. But I'm also recording these, posting these to my YouTube, which you might be watching this on. Maybe not. If I keep doing this, you know, I'm not gonna really advertise it too much. I'm not. My goal is that I don't want to do this as a job. It's not what I'm interested in. But you know, I need to have. I actually wanted to do YouTube videos. Like every time I would do a YouTube video, I would have so much fun making it up until the editing stage, and you know, I wasn't looking at my health, or was it finding it interesting, or was I able, you know, I lost the fun, and this is, why did I do that? This is primarily for fun, and so when I started losing that, it was, oh no. When I started losing it didn't feel worth it doing the YouTube videos, and I couldn't post any of them because none of them were completed, and they were all made so in a way where kind of had to edit them in order for them to be interesting. And I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting stream, because, you know, I'm starting out, and my microphone's terrible. I understand that. Oh, a carrot. And I have a really good Rode microphone, but I don't have a cord long enough to connect it to my computer and put it on my desk. So I'm using the microphone in my headphones. You know, I really need to eat, even though it's one in the flesh. Is my brightness all the way up? Brightness. Been playing modded, so I haven't been on the latest version, and all the buttons are in different layouts. More coal here. So the zombies were. Can't believe I've died twice already. Like, I know I'm bad at video games, but I'm not that bad. And this is something like you don't understand how difficult it is to talk and make reliable conversation. One with no one. Like, I'm not talking to anyone right now. It's just me in a room. But also focus and play a video game at the same time. But what we will do, I will just get. Normally I build a house right away, and then I find a mine. But we found a mine right away. It's right at spawn. So I'm just gonna probably mine for a while, get coal, stone, and some iron like this here, and then I'll probably go venture out, get some wood, probably build a house decently close to spawn, because this is good having this cave here, or easy access to it. And to be honest, I don't really have a larger goal right now other than build a nice house. So, but I will make sure I'm able to protect myself. But so far, my day has been pretty lackluster in the terms of it's boring. It hasn't been bad at all. I've just been relaxing. But this afternoon, I gonna see my personal trainer because I'm quite unfit, and this personal trainer is a new thing in my life. He's really helping me out. So I've been seeing him 3 days a week. Last week I went to the gym for the very first time. That was immediately very nerve-wracking. My parents have been trying to get me to the gym for ages. Let's just stand here and heal for a bit. For ages, but it's quite a difficult thing to get me to do any kind of exercise. And then going to a place I'm unfamiliar with that it's all about exercise. No, this zombie is coming, but we'll go down here. And then, so that's what I'm doing this afternoon. Yesterday I was practicing some video editing, some fun video editing. I was just like clips from TV shows and that, because if I get a job in video editing again, then I don't want to lose that skill. Then I started doing a little bit of 3D modeling before this, just again practicing with that skill. Thinking tomorrow I've an idea for I saw this Baldur's Gate 3 mod, and I don't have Baldur's Gate 3 yet. If I do, I'll stream it. But I've been watching a few playthroughs because it's one of those things where I always thought, oh, by it's been like a few years since it released, and I was like, by now I would have it, but I don't. That's not good. Lava. but I don't, and so I just started watching playthroughs, living vicariously through streamers and YouTubers, and I've been enjoying a few challenge ones. But I saw this video about one of the a mod that adds X-Men classes to the game, so you can like play as Cyclops and Storm and Wolverine and all that. And I'm a massive superhero fan, but no more so than the X-Men. The X-Men are the number one. And so it was really interesting, and I thought, I see a lot of people do X-Men characters as Dungeons and Dragons characters, like they make a build for them, and what would they be like in the world of primarily the Forgotten Realms, but general Dungeons and Dragons. And let's do loads more torches. That's gonna be like 32, 64. I'm not very good at math. And I was thinking, about that. What would X-Men characters look like in the world of Dungeons and Dragons? But then I started thinking, it's like, well, what if the X-Men sat down and played Dungeons and Dragons? What would their characters be? So I'm thinking of kind of drawing them out. I've kind of some ideas, a list. I might share that. Oh, skeleton. Where is that from? Sniper. Oh, train. Creeper again. Oh. No, I'm gonna die again. Let's maybe just protect myself a little bit and just eat, and I can focus on talking a bit. But I was thinking, drawing out the ideas I had for what these characters would choose. Let's talk about that. That's not something on my list because I only had the ideas yesterday, and the list I'm planning on updating the list every time I think of something, and the list I think has over 100 things on it at the moment. But let's talk about some of the characters I made for the X-Men, and I've chosen I just based it on the original X-Men from that first comic in 1963, which I've been slowly reading through. Because although I'm a massive X-Men fan, I've hardly read anything before Giant Size X-Men. So, which I feel like that's pretty common. And people say that I'm getting distracted. But for the Professor X's character he would play, I mean, I know it's kind of unrealistic having Professor X not only play Dungeons and Dragons, but be on good terms with it's looking for you. Be on good terms with the X-Men and call it continuity. I'm just going back to the surface. Oh, it's nighttime, I think, in the surface, so. And I need to find my way back. It's nighttime. Let's just stick up here, maybe. Or get in between these stalag things, so monsters can't get me. Even though there's probably some up here. Oh my. All these things, you don't think. You think you're so good at focusing on them because you've played the game so much. But really, it's very difficult. Don't know why I stopped or breaking the crafting table. But the character I kind of have for Professor X, and I'll look over to my left here, sometimes. So if something jumps out at me, then I might not notice it at first because that's where I have my notes. I thought Professor X in this magical, happy fantasy fanfiction world where all the X-Men get along and love each other. You would play a sorcerer, absolutely, because they kind of have the. I need more stone as well. They kind of have the the only class aside from maybe Barbarian who has like that inner power, that power that is part of them. Like fighters get stuff from skills, clerics get stuff from their gods. Monk again training, wizard, the books study. And it's also and I that's the idea that Professor X is obsessed about. Or mutants. That's the idea of mutants in the Marvel comics. Their powers are natural, and Professor X studied mutants, being a mutant, of course, but why he created one of the reasons why he created the X-Men. So I think a sorcerer works quite well for him. And then I made his species because using the 2024 Dungeons & Dragons rules, the species are Dragonborn, because the Dragonborn are they're fancy, they're a little royal, and Professor X is fancy. He likes to think of himself as quite important, and I feel like if he made a character in a game he would play as, he would want his character to be important. And I got other details, like I decided he would be the aberrant sorcery, and the guide background. The guide background might be controversial because it's more of a nature choice, but it's the closest thing to a teacher, really. And I feel like he would like to play a mentor type character. And I chose the Brass Dragonborn because, well, I think he would like the idea of fire. He would use it as an attack, but he would also use that as the 5 breath as a utility. And brass instead of red, just because brass it's a little bit more interesting. Like red dragon is very classic, and I've got names for them and backstories. So I'll read his out. It's already been like 20 minutes, which is good, as it felt like that long. But I have to be careful now. Okay, I'm not gonna read, but I'll keep talking. Let's see if I can find some animals so I can quickly get something to eat. Let's go right down. Okay, so drop or you'll hurt yourself. Only entrance to the cave. Lots of caves. I hear a skeleton, so I'm just gonna be a bit careful. But I called him Professor X's character Alamogordo, which name comes from the place where the first atomic bomb was tested, which is where Professor Xavier's father worked. And Alamo kind of fits in the slight nature theme I've kind of given him. And here's some chickens. I should probably save them, but I really need food now. And then I'll save the pigs, and with the sheep I can get bed. that creeper? No, it's just some flowers. Save the pigs. There's lots of pigs. And I should save the sheep, but okay. Horses, but so I feel like the name would be something that Professor X would choose. How many pieces full? I'll leave one sheep. And let's get some wood. There's more oak wood than cherry wood, so let's just grab a bunch of that. But let's get the furnace in this opening with the tree here, with the bees. And furnace. And a double chest. Or 2 chests. Put that in there. Chicken. Then all this stuff in here. And I probably need to make a new sword, and let's make an axe as well. And now I have the sword just here for backup. Axe here. That's got better. Do some healing. Save that tree so I know where to look. But Alamogordo was born. Sorry. Okay. I'm not gonna read. I'm gonna read this, and maybe each stream I could read one out loud, because this playing the game while reading is difficult. But let's pause for a moment and read it out. Alamogordo was born to members of a small dragonborn tribe in the forest. As the tribe grew, the people ventured out to nearby cities, and the tribe dissipated. Alamogordo still loved the forest he grew up in and decided to stay. There he used his survival skills to live off the land. When guiding a group of adventurers around the forest, he and the party were attacked by mercenaries following the adventurers. This is when Alamogordo cast his first spell to protect the adventurers. Since then, he has been traveling and using his natural magic to help others. After escorting a group of traveling merchants to a tavern, Alamogordo is offered a drink from them. Let's go back to the list, because every time I'm like, oh, I should read that, I get distracted by something in the game, and I don't think that made for something that is quite messy. So hopefully that wasn't too bad for you guys to watch. What did I do over the weekend? Again, pretty boring weekend. I have a D&D campaign starting up next weekend, and I have a couple maps I need to make for session 1. I doubt I'll use them, but you have to be prepared with players. Whoa, look at that. That's cool generation. And look at that cave. Wow. This is great. Have to be prepared, especially, we're playing Tyranny of Dragons. We start off in Greenest. So what are the Greenest maps done beforehand? Just so in case they say, oh, even though these characters want us to go this place, we will explore this other place, or explore the town first, because you can't predict what your players do at all. So I think by Friday I should have those maps done. Maybe I can show you some on Friday. Well, before we play Kingdom Hearts, or maybe if we finish a level. I don't again, I've not played Kingdom. Well, that's a lie. I've played the first little bit of Kingdom Hearts. I just got off the island, and then I softlocked the game somehow. So I have not really given it a proper go since. So you became my first reaction to the game, which is hopefully more interesting than Minecraft, because like I know what to do in Minecraft. Everyone knows what to do in Minecraft. It's not, you're not gonna get interesting perspective. But I thought because I'm so familiar with the game, it would be a great one to start off streaming with. You get a little bit of what to expect from myself and others and all that. But then see, okay, on my notes, this is a few weeks ago now, but I wrote it down as Iron Lunch. I saw Iron Lung with friends, and I mean, I loved hanging out with my friends, and Iron Lung is, okay, I just knew it was a horror movie. That's all I knew, right? And my friend invited me, and she loves horror movies. She's quite high arts and all that. I would later learn it was another friend who invited us all, but couldn't get a hold of me for whatever reason, so I asked my other friend to contact me. And I was like, I'm not really into horror movies, but my friend has great taste, so I watched it. I told my brother, I'm going to see a movie. It's Iron Lung. It's a horror movie. And he goes, "Is that the Markiplier one?" I go, "What are you talking about?" And like, I didn't even know my brother knew who Markiplier was. Right? He's not as online as I am, or in the same online circles. Right? Like I have a bunch of friends who know who Markiplier is, but I don't watch him personally. And I go, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, I must be confusing it with something else." Then I get in the car with my other friend that I was going to see the movie with. This is a previously not mentioned friend, and I told her, and my brother said something about Markiplier, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I think Markiplier played the game that this movie is based on." I went, "Oh, okay." And then the friend that the horror movie fanatic then got in the car, and I was like, "Okay, what's what?" I was telling her, "Oh, this. Oh, I probably should have done that. That's okay. I'm gonna have an ugly house." And I went, "What's Markiplier played this? The game. This is based off a game that Markiplier played." And she goes, "Oh, Markiplier is in this movie." Like, haha, very funny. And then she went, "No, he actually directed it and produced it." I'm thinking, what a joke. This is hilarious. She's taking this opportunity to mess with me. And I was like, haha, very funny. And then the friend that got us all together, let's just create a basic shoulder for the night, that got us all together, went, "Oh yeah." And I was telling them about how I'm like, "Oh, and Harina was joking that this is a Markiplier's in this, and that he like made the movie." And my friend, they go, "Oh yeah, he is." And my friend has their friend, which I've yet to meet there as well, and I met them that day. They were really nice. And they stayed quiet. But I thought, oh, now my friends has taken this opportunity. They heard, now they're gonna mess. They know that my friend, one of these friends is messing with me, so now they're gonna mess with me as well. And, and I'm like, and it kept getting worse because they kept increasing the amount of involvement Markiplier had in the film. And then we sit down in the movie seats, and it's just all of us in the movie theater, like, so we could, talk if we wanted to. We didn't really talk. Sometimes we'll make a joke. But Markiplier, I see Markiplier, and I'm like, no way. And all my friends start cracking up. They're like, did you really not believe us? I was like, no, why would Markiplier be in a horror movie? And then I see directed by Markiplier. Not even his real name, his online handle, which I think using the online handle is cool, but I would have thought it was, more. Oh, I can make a bed too, can't I? I would have thought like he, my impression going in this movie, because I thought it was recommended by this my horror movie fanatic friend. I thought it was going to be high arts. So when I saw Markiplier in the opening credits, I'm like, no way. I'm thinking, what is happening here, right? And we can make this house pretty now. We can destroy everything. I might get some doors, some more wood first. Right. And some doors. It's raining, of course. I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, I couldn't get over that Markiplier was in this movie, but he actually did a fantastic job acting. I think the best part of the movie was Markiplier's acting, which I didn't expect. Again, I'm not a Markiplier fan, so I don't really know much about him other than he plays Five Nights at Freddy's. He's just very loud, and that doesn't really interest me. And he and I'm watching like, what? And I didn't really like the movie that much, but I think that's because I was expecting it to be this thought-provoking thing. Maybe if I rewatched it now, knowing that Markiplier's a movie that Markiplier made, it was his first movie, I would have a much better time. But and we get out of the movie theater, and they go, "Did you really not believe us that Markiplier was in the movie?" And are you listening to yourself? What sane person would believe that Markiplier is in this movie? And they're like, oh, okay, fair. And that, because it wasn't like, oh, they didn't say, oh, he directed and produced it. They went, oh, they drip fed me information. So, oh, he played the game this movie's based off. I'm repeating myself now, right? And it was, and in the movie while we're watching, there are times where one of us would go, oh, this is just like, I think we were watching the movie, and it's like when Markiplier was getting freaked out for the first time, his character, and I went, this is just like the time we played Five Nights at Freddy's. And I'm so glad that joke didn't fall flat, because everyone laughed. And it was good. It's always really risky making a joke while a movie is playing, because you don't know if the people around you just want you to shut up and watch the movie. And that's what we did for the most part. But when there's a moment of silence, gotta take the moment. And so, and everyone made jokes like that during the movie, but ultimately it was separate. We could separate it from Markiplier. It's just, it wasn't we weren't seriously going, Markiplier movie. And then so it was pretty insane, but it was a great experience. And then a Hungry Jack's, which is Australian Burger King, opened up in the area that we were seeing the movie in. Not where not where any of us live, to be honest. None of us live next to a movie theater, so we had to travel a bit. Thank you to my friends for organizing that. And so we had Hungry Jack's, and the first time having Hungry Jack's wasn't very good. Like, it's just worse McDonald's. And McDonald's, you eat McDonald's because you will feel bad. You don't eat McDonald's because you will have something disgusting but tasty. Hungry Jack's is slightly less disgusting but also slightly less tasty. So it really wasn't that. But my friend said, "Oh, Hungry Jack's is my favorite fast food." And I went, "Oh, okay." So I kind of had higher hopes. Let's tear down my house and make a good-looking one. That's long. There we go. And so that was good. Oh, and there's a grasshopper on the window of the Hungry Jack's, and like my friends were like grabbing it and touching it, and I'm like, just leave it alone. And I was like, oh, listen, you can like bugs. I don't care if you like or dislike bugs or not, but come on, like don't disturb it, and don't. I just imagining touching a bug is so disgusting to me. Not because the bugs are disgusting, it's just the sensory feeling would be awful, right? And then it stayed on one of my friends, where the other friend who loves Animals and Instincts, they stay on her. It was, what bug was it? Was it a grasshopper? I think it was a grasshopper. And we went inside, and I was looking at, they have the screen where they have the names of orders that are ready. Like, oh man, I know I have pretty bad eyesight, but is it getting worse? Because I can't read that. Now I have my glasses on, and they're pretty strong glasses. And my friend goes, "Oh, don't worry, it's slightly blurry." I go, "Oh, okay." So I had a scare, but because my glasses are such a high prescription, they're so expensive already. And as I said earlier in the stream, I don't have a job at the moment, so I'm going to the optometrist soon. So if I have to buy new glasses, that would be a pain. But that's what I did a few weeks ago. I think when I wrote this list, it's a bit outdated because I had to make all the art for the stream and figure out how Streamlabs works and how the PNG Tuber program I had, which I forgot the name. I'll pull it up, but I'm not going to. Too much effort. And my axe. I get silent every time something breaks. Can I sleep in my bed? No. So that was a fun experience. Now moving on to topics. That's difficult for me. Like, okay, I finished talking. How do I segue? But what I have next on my list is the Wonder Man TV show. I'm a big fan of superheroes, comic books, and all that. I watch all the latest movies, even if they're bad. I love them, even if they're bad. Um, let's build over here. And that's, one of the things I love. So, and I was really excited for the Wonder Man TV show because I was like, man, I feel like that's a strange pick. I would have put Wonder Man until later if I help it. Um, and I, but I was so glad because Wonder Man's awesome. He's okay. This is probably a terrible way to explain it, but he was uh, a guy, and he got convinced by the Masters of Evil, which is basically the anti-Avengers, to become a supervillain. He kind of got blackmailed, and he sacrificed himself and died to for the greater good, and then he came back, and this is really when his character gets interesting, and he's really he's kind of a little bit of a jerk, but and a little bit vain, and he besides, I have these superpowers. I don't really want to be a superhero. Um, so I'm gonna use them as to become an actor. I'll be a stuntman, and then because I'm basically invulnerable, or I can't get hurt, and I'll be the perfect stuntman. And then, so he does that, and he eventually becomes, this great actor. What a lot of his stories are about is, even though he's a bit of a jerk, he's vain, he's pompous, um, he he is ultimately a good person. And he more that is ultimately a good person, and when there is someone in need of superheroics, he will step in. But most of the time, he doesn't choose to become a superhero. He falls into it. At least, mostly in the 70s, which is kind of when his era, with West Coast Avengers, and he was best friends with Beast from the X-Men. When Beast kind of before Beast, when Beast quit, kind of before X Factor started, and during X Factor a bit. Oh no, after, because Beast was originally. See, I'm getting my timelines mixed up. Beast X Factor, I think, would have been around the same time that Wonder Man came back alive, and then Beast and Wonder Man, they were both Avengers together, and they had a kind of bond. Um, so I was really interested to see how they were going to do Wonder Man in the MCU. And I tried to avoid spoilers aside from the first two trailers. So I was like, is he going to start with his powers? Is he going to get his powers? Is it even going to have any superpowers? Or is it just going to be somebody acting in the world of the MCU? And it's like, well, and it's kind of like, well, why put it in the MCU if, something, if it's just a show about acting and finding gigs, right? And it's really good. And by the way, spoilers for Wonder Man, I will say, um, it. I'm talking about the show, and so there's your warning. But Wonder Man does have powers in the show, and we kind of really never get to learn how he got the powers, but it happened when I was a child. And my favorite episode was Doorman, when they introduced Doorman from the Great Lakes Avengers. Nemo. The and it's like, that's a character I never expected in a million years, right? And they're straight away from the character in the comics, but that's one of the great things about these adaptation, these the MCU. They can change stuff for a different story. I don't want just the same story from the comic books. Otherwise, why don't you just read the comic books? But that was great and exciting. And I was like, we got Mr. Immortal and She-Hulk and Doorman and Wonder Man. It was quite exciting. Um, the door. Let's do it. Yeah. And so that was really good. And you know, it was a good story as well. Like, you know, some of though I think movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and like even some of the Disney Plus shows like Miss Marvel and especially She-Hulk get way too much hate. Um, like there are stuff like Thor: Love and Thunder where that was a mess, but uh, that was not good. But so it's good seeing something so high quality, something where people can't argue is bad. Um, or well, people tried, of course, but like they tried to argue Ironheart was bad, but that was Ironheart was great, which I never really cared much for Ironheart in the comics, but the MCU version made me find her a bit more interesting. So that's always a win. But Wonder Man was good. People loved Wonder Man, or the people who watched it did, and they. I was about to say. I forgot. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. It was a great show. I loved 3, 4, 5. Trevor Slattery when he came back in Shang-Chi, that's something nobody expected. And he comes back in Wonder Man 3, 4, 5, and it's like I never really cared for the character much until Wonder Man. Well, he never really got yet to be fleshed out. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. So that was good. I really expected there to be in the show there's Simon Williams, Wonder Man. He has his brother, which in the comics is a villain called the Grim Reaper, and the Grim Reaper. No, he's a Wonder Man Vision villain because those two characters, Wonder Man and Vision, are quite related in the comics, not in the movies. And he was definitely like a antagonist, but not so much. There wasn't really any major superhero antagonists other than in the show, other than maybe the government. But I definitely thought he would in the show we'd start to see him becoming the Grim Reaper. But no, by the end of the show, he actually was much more positive. So that was fun. But I love when they try new things with characters, even if they don't work. Like everyone's upset with Miss Marvel becoming a mutant, but honestly, I think if it's a fun new direction. It was done really poorly, and we're kind of only really starting to get it. I feel like her future stories, and well, also her her run she had when written by Marnie Vinal, written by the actor who plays her in the MCU, was really good. But definitely, in terms of how they're handling the fact that she was a mutant. But I think it's going to be a character, and we're going to get many more stories with her. She's my favorite character in Marvel, favorite superhero of all time, and I see this is going to be a positive change for her character. But it's going to take some time in the oven, is what I like to say. It's not going to be right away. We need more changes to characters. Keep them. Maybe it's a little too early to introduce such a change like that to Miss Marvel. She's a relatively new character. Like only about 10 years old, and that's very new for comic book standards. But I think it's going to be a positive thing. Need those chests. Thank you. Back for those. And what else do I have on my list? Yes, the most exciting news of all time, at least for me, is the fact that we're getting a new Ben 10, and it's a comic, which I'm excited about. This house is ugly, but it's so hard to build while talking. I mean, no windows yet, but we don't have any sand. No roof even. What am I doing? Going insane. Now, hold with me for a moment while I organize my inventory. I'll organize the chest later. Now do this. Okay. Again, this is just to begin with. We'll make this house pretty later. With the new Ben 10 comic, I've been a massive Ben 10 fan my whole life. I saw it on TV when I was little, like not even in school yet, and I immediately fell in love. It's been a hyperfixation of mine, my biggest hyperfixation, and it's lifelong, I'm pretty sure. So the new Ben 10 comic is super exciting. And, they had the covers released and some of the artwork for the aliens as well. And I can't wait. I can't wait. And, it's having a bit more of a mature tone, it seems like. Being a teen and up audiences, and it has a little bit of that cosmic horror aspect feel to it, at least in terms of design and what the people working on it have been saying. Now, I just found out there's a local comic shop kind of near-ish where I live, but they're closed for the next few days. But I'll go and ask them when I go into that area again if they'll be stocking the Ben 10 comic, and I really hope they do, because that'll be way cheaper than ordering it online all the way from America to Australia. And otherwise I have to order from Dynamite Comics themselves, and then I have the shipping, which is it's a lot of money each month. And then there's a comic store where some of my family lives, so maybe I could, ask them to get it, ship it over, and then I would pay them back for it, and that'll be cheaper. Um, but that, I'm super excited for it. And what's next on my list? Oh yeah, the Gigs D&D, the Hermitcraft D&D. I've been into that recently. They started it. They've just posted the session 2 VOD, I think yesterday. I haven't watched it yet, but it's really good. It's great seeing new people play D&D, and when it's these YouTubers I love, they're all in Hermitcraft. It makes it better. I've created some art for it. None of the art is finished though. It's not presentable yet. So I might finish that art up and post it on my Blue Sky and Tumblr, which is just the same as my Twitch. Choose Spectral S if you're interested in art. Mostly do character art, but I can do other stuff. And if you do like my art, consider commissioning me. I don't have it set up properly yet because I've never had anyone ask. But I'll probably just go through PayPal. Don't know what I'm doing now. I'm probably collecting seeds. Star farm. I need more wood. Let's plant some trees so we can get lots of wood going on. So that way we can make our house nice. Let's do a little mini cherry place here. And in this area over here is probably going to be used for a farm. So let's go over here more. And so I've been excited to watch session 2. I'll probably start watching it tonight, and if I feel like it, I might not. While I have dinner. I'm loving, the characters because they're all a little goofy, yet they're so earnest. Like everyone's playing it, taking it seriously, while still having jokey characters, except for Gemini Tay's character, which is a little bit more of a we're playing D&D, let's get serious take. But everyone looks like they're having a great time, and that's what matters. And I think D&D should be silly. Can't play a role-playing TTRPG without being a little silly, I don't think. It's all, it's... I think most media, or most games, or most things you enjoy need to have some silliness in them. And whimsy. Get some more... I think that's the key to having joy in life. Just being goofy. Because when you're working or studying or something, most parts of your life you can't control that goofiness, and you have to be serious. And I think it's really something that humans need to stay happy, fun, and why, which is why, we're a lot of videos I see, they're always like, get on the grind set or whatever. Like if you're not working, you're not living. I don't think that's true. I think that's unhealthy. But back to this gigs D&D, they're having they're they're entertaining themselves like I can, as well as viewers, and I can't remember the names. Again, it's been a little while. I remember Bohemi Dudestone was Impulse's character, and Mr. Wizard, of course. Mr. Wizard was Scar's character. And then I remember the other characters, like their actions and that, but not the names. Like Green's character was a half halfling, half Goliath, and he's kind of like a little from the circus. He's very pompous, and I could definitely see he's playing a character that has a few negative traits, and I can tell that he's a little subconscious about having negative traits and portraying them, which is something I struggle with when I play D&D with the character's negative traits, because I'm like, I know this person sucks a little bit, but they suck in order. But like, it's a character, and you're not ruining anyone's fun. But sometimes it feels like it, because you're like, I knew the person who acted like this in real life, it would suck. But because it's a game and they're characters, you're like, at least room for growth. And that's something that a lot of first-time D&D players and long-time D&D players have to work their way through playing a character like that. And the DM, Pixel Riffs, I didn't know much about him. Apparently he's the guy who does the Hermitcraft recaps or organizes it. He has some large involvement in it. And I only watched what was that noise? What was that noise? Oh, hello! Hello! My partner is in the chat right now. Hello, how are you? I thank you for the hearts. They said they'll watch. I thought they would be asleep because different time zones. How long have you been here for? Or actually, you probably don't want to chat in the chat. I might chat to you later. But thank you so much for the heart in the chat. Sorry, I don't really know. I probably should have talked about this with my. Okay, well, you can turn down the volume if I'm loud. It is. I'm not sure how much. I might talk to my partner a bit later to understand how much we'll communicate on the stream, but I'm still learning. I'm still trying to focus. I don't know if you guys heard that sound or not. Well, it's getting dark. Oh yeah, there's also like a whole minute delay, so that's not helpful. Okay, let's go back to my ugly house. It's not finished yet. And speaking of D&D campaigns, I've started watching the Critical Role first campaign, Vox Machina. I watched the first two seasons of the animated show, but I've not watched the actual campaign, the game itself. And I've been enjoying it. It's been something I've just had on the background while I do other things. All the characters started from somewhere else, like from a mini campaign or something. And so now, I'm a bit confused. We need it one higher. Sometimes it's in more dirt. I was a bit confused at the start, like because they were already pre-established, but I'm enjoying it so far. I need to sneeze. Oh, you didn't say bless you. Why? Okay. Wait, did I do it this way? Here we go. Thank you. Uh, but I've been watching Vox Machina. I have a friend, the same friend who's into horror I talked about earlier, who's really likes Vox Machina. And I did not know. I knew Ashley Johnson voiced um, Pike in the animated show. I did not know it was the same voice. I did not know Critical Role's voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. I thought it was just a group of friends, and Matt Mercer just happened to be one of the friends. So that was great when I finally realized, oh, Ashley Johnson is playing Pike, because again, back to my Ben 10 obsession. Ashley Johnson played Glenn from Alien Force to Omniverse, Ben's cousin, and I followed her career a little bit, so it's good seeing someone I recognize there. I knew Mark Mercer, but I knew he done D&D before I knew he done voice acting. I think I'm on like episode 6 or something, so not very far in. They've not paying super close attention to it because again, it's my background show. But I know they've befriended, spoilers for a like 10-year-old thing, but they've befriended a mind flayer. I think they've just defeated a bunch of Duergar, the Duergar camp. And look at that, we're over an hour in stream right now. How long? An hour and 13 minutes. That's an accomplishment, I think. So, they're still in the Underdark. And next on my list, My Hero Academia final. I actually might skip this one and talk about it another time because I don't think my partner has watched it yet, and we're both huge My Hero Academia fans. But I watched it recently and it was great. But I'll talk more about that later. And then I have on my note recently watched shows and movies, but I basically just listed all the recently watched shows and movies. Ooh, need more wood. I've watched, so what else? I'm trying to think, what else have I watched recently? And I've watched nothing else. I've been reading comics, but a little bit behind. But I've been reading, the new Ultimate Marvel Universe comics and the Absolute DC comics, as well as some X-Men and the 90s Spider-Girl. That was one of the first comics I read. And I loved it. So I'm reading it again. But it's been a while. So now I have a different roof. I'll have 2 stories, I think, on this. Oh, you changed your color. Oh, and it's creeper emoji. Very good. My partner just Kitty Pup Cloud. They've just put creeper emoji in chat. I didn't know you could do the emojis without. I thought that again. I didn't know there's free ones that were Minecraft themed, because most channels you subscribe to their channel for money, and you get access to emojis. Yes, there's a lot of things. Yeah. So my partner doesn't know much about that Twitch. Never touched it in their life. They said I need another axe. What else is my list of things? So I am a fan of Drawfee, a YouTube channel, and I'm a bit behind on the streams, but I'm caught up on all the videos and that. What am I doing? Need an axe. But you know, I've started watching the Drawfee streams where one of the hosts, Karina, plays Digimon, and that's been good. I know nothing about Digimon, so every time something new appears, I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I think that's like, it just doesn't make sense. It's like Pokemon if it didn't make sense. Pokemon if a madman made it. A group of insane people. So I've been enjoying just seeing, you know, crazy that stuff happening. I think, you know, Dwarfy. Thank you for the pride flags. I love you too. I have to start narrating what people put in chat. And by the way, it's Orchard's my partner at the moment. But I've been enjoying. I don't want to touch that with the beehive. I don't touch trees with beehives unless I have a campfire. But I've been. Did all three of those just glow dead, or am I going crazy? Probably going crazy. But I think Dwarfy, you know, all the hosts there, the entertaining, you know, I mean, they've all been doing stuff like YouTube and streaming and even other creative jobs for a long time now. So, that's to be expected. But I've been, you know, enjoying Karina's commentary on her Digimon playthrough. And she's playing on like New Game Plus, but like mega difficulty, like the hardest difficulty you can get, and the numbers are insane. It's like those are like tens of thousands for stats. It's like, I don't really have much else to say about that, to be honest. Don't know why I put it on the list as a quick thing I can talk about, because honestly, so some of these things I have lots to say, some of them I have none at all to say. By the way, this is much more taxing than I thought streaming, so I was originally going to try to go for 3 hours, but I think I'm only going to go for 2 hours today. So, and stop at. I said 2 to 3 hours, but I was hoping I would be able to do 3 hours, but talking is exhausting. I might get, you know, some second lunch afterwards, a small lunch, because I had lunch beforehand. But we're going well so far. Oh, and okay, next thing on my list. Lego released their smart play brick thing, which it looks fun, it looks good, but unless they can find a way to make sets with it cheaper, then it's not worth it. I don't think Lego is already ridiculously expensive. and it doesn't need to be that expensive. They can make enough money, I reckon. But and adding this, you know, digital toy into their Lego, they have. It's a Lego brick, but glows, lights up, makes sounds. It's cool. Oh, it's raining again. It's cool, but why did I do that? Didn't need to do that. Just done that without thinking. This is not right. 1, 2, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's move this one inwards. But it's a fun idea. But Lego is a kid's toy, and although it's collectors as well love it, like me. But the smart brick isn't aimed for collectors. It's aimed for kids to play with, and you all make it accessible to people. And if it's adding like $10 or $20 on top of a set that's already like twice the price that it should be, then you're gonna alienate people, right? It's not, and then you're not gonna be able to. And you know, the smart brick, it may make them a lot of money, probably will make them a lot of money, right? Let's be real. But is it really viable? Is it really going with the company's whole Lego is for play, for kids and all that? Does it feel authentic? And I know we're talking about like $1 million company here, but Lego has been one of those companies where they've been consistently, you know, grab another axe, consistently for, you know, having the message of providing toys for kids that are smart, provide education, and in an accessible way. And I don't feel like Lego's living up to the standards it once was. Even though, you know, the actual builds in Lego have never been better. Right? And yeah, everything's getting too expensive. Even the stuff that shouldn't be getting too expensive. And yeah, that was my little rant. Let's talk about something more positive, like the next on my magic list of conversation topics. Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake. So I've not watched the second season yet, but I loved the first season. Before I vlogs in the chat. Yep, with it. Right. Oh, the new Pokemon just got announced the other day, and they got the little ugly tadpole feature, but for the water starter, and that's gonna be the starter I choose. I think. What was that noise? Something is making noises, and I don't know what it is. Oh, I forgot. I made it so you can see chat on the screen, so I don't have to tell you when I'm reading out chat. I forgot I did that. See, I'm smart. I'm intelligent, doing stuff like that. Yes, notification noises, but it gave me a notification noise first time, 2 times you chatted, but it didn't give me a notification noise until. But it gave me one just randomly. and it's from Twitch. Hello, Tree. I know that, so not quite sure what's happening. Maybe it's on the delay? I don't know. But Fiona and Cake, love Adventure Time. Yeah, so I just got a notification noise right then, as soon as your chat showed up on the chat box for me. And you can hear the notifications as well. I have to find a way to disable that. Do that later. Oh. Maybe it's just when it's been a while since someone's chatted and now somebody's chatted. It has a notification to bring my attention to the screen. But the Fiona Cake season 1 was so good. I'm really not sure what they're going to do with season 2. I felt like, the story ended and it was good. But I'm excited to watch it eventually. Grew up watching Adventure Time, and now, we have like, somebody who is familiar yet unfamiliar going into the land of Ooo. It's, a real world version of Fiona, and they're relatable, so that's great. It's getting harder and harder to talk every passing moment, but that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to build that skill. Adventure Time. I love Adventure Time. One of the shows I was like, okay, you need to make a show, Sam. I'm a kid and I'm watching it and I'm like, this is something where I'm like, I need to do something like this. And I'll leave that. Okay, let's smelt some of my iron and then probably get a farm started because I'm a bit bored on this house, to be honest. We need sticks. Let's make cherry wood fences, I think. Is that fences of... Yep. I don't know if that's enough. And seeing that Adventure Time is still being made, it's excellent. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Yeah, it is definitely not enough. Oh, maybe it is. Then I'll just figure out. It's still being made in some way, shape, or form. People are still loving it. It's great. It's something that's really lasted. And we got some more Ice King Simon development in the Fiona and Cake, which he and Marceline are like tied for my favorite characters. The Marceline stakes arc in Adventure Time was my favorite Adventure Time story, which is, if you don't know already, that's where Marceline, all the vampires of Ooo come back, and Marceline has to kill them all again. because Ursuline is a vampire. She became the vampire queen by killing all the other vampires anew. Don't know if this is going to be even or not. And then, you know, in the States they come back and she hunts them down. I mean, it's not really an interesting premise, but it was so good. And with Fiona and Cake, you know, I'm so glad that it's being made. I'm repeating myself because I'm getting tired. What's next on my list? My poor sucky microphone. I think I've already talked about that. I'm pretty sure I've already talked about that. About how my microphone sucks. So I will repeat. Dungeons and Dragons I have on my list as well. I've already talked about that. And the campaign I'm going to start next week. I'm the Dungeon Master, if that wasn't obvious. And let's do this under here as well. I know this is not the most optimal farm, but it's how I learned how to make farms in Minecraft, so in the old school. Next on my list, I'm going to put water in it for a farm. As I said, not the most optimal way to play Minecraft to make a farm, but yeah, it's a lot of water. Next on my list, my Lego sets I own. So it was my birthday in January. I got the Lego Lactron Renegade, the remake that they have. Let me get it up on stream, see if I can. 1 second. Okay, hello. Sorry, I was just switching tabs. So, Lactron Renegade. Let me Google it and pull it up on screen. Let's see. Copy image. Add media file. Add source. I have to download it. Downloads. Browse. Downloads. Alright, well, add web piece. Hold on. See, this is awesome. You see how awesome it is once I show you, once I get it up on screen. Downloads. Did I not save it to my downloads? Downloads. Okay. Yep, there it is. So I should be able to. I'm kind of learning Streamlabs, the program I'm using to stream. So hopefully. Oh, it's all in alphabetical order, is it? Local file. Hold on. How does this work? Media file. Delete. Add source. Media image. Add source. Add new source. Image. Image file. Downloads. Here we go. Should be able to see that on screen. Yes, this is the Lego set I got for my birthday, like 2 months ago. Well, 1 month ago, pretty much, because it's in the very last stage. my very last day of January. It's a remake of uh the classic 1987 Lego set Triforce spaceship, pretty much. But so that's the new one, and then add source, browse. This is the comparison from some person's YouTube thumbnail. Over the top of me. So this one on the left is the classic set from 1987, and the one on the right is the one I have, the newly updated one. It's awesome. It's like you can take parts of it to make it modular. Oh, sorry. It's like modular in a limited way, but technically still is. This little one in the middle is like a little cart that can drop down and drive around on planet surfaces or whatever. And you get a better look at it here. And then on the wings, you kind of have the sky, so you can't really tell, but you can open up the little things and you can have pods fly away. It's really well hidden, well designed. Back to Minecraft. So that's my most recent Lego set I have. In my cupboard, just looking. I mean, I have the Lego Daily Bugle, the big one. That was a birthday present Christmas present a few years ago. It's awesome. I love it. One of my favorite Lego sets. And I bought the Lego X Mansion, but they're not selling it anymore, and I don't have to buy it for extreme upcharge. I thought they would keep it for a few years, like they did with the Daily Bugle and Avengers Tower, but no, it's retired now. But that's like my dream Lego set idea: Lego X-Men X Mansion, or Xavier's Institute for Gifted Youngsters, whatever you want to call it. I did get the Blackbird set. I saw it now. It's just not worth the price. I'll wait for it to go on sale, but then it never went on sale anywhere. Axe broke again. I'll make an iron axe this time. I've got iron and 6 already. And the Daily Bugle is great. Lots of Spider-Man characters, obviously, but it also includes some characters that Lego wouldn't make unless it was like a 18+ set, which it is, like Punisher and Blade. It has like Firestar, which although is a pretty family-friendly character, it's like most kids aren't gonna know who Firestar is. I barely know who Firestar is. But she, a mutant, and they made a Spider-Man show in the 70s, I think, where Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and they wanted to include Iceman and the Human Torch, and they could include Iceman, but they didn't have the rights to the Human Torch, so they made up the character called Firestar, and she's basically Human Torch if he was a mutant and a girl, but she's actually more responsible, different personality, and she's wasn't really important in the comics until like the Krakoa era. So that's not a character in most Lego. That's not a character kids would know, right? So it's good getting a character like that. and it had like the spider buggy and what else do I have? I have for Christmas I got the Captain America Brave New World set. Good movie. Of course, some parts of it can be improved. It wasn't fantastic, but I thought it was a great movie still. Again, one of those Marvel movies that's just overhated. Even though, the green screen at the end was quite bad. I feel like I have to separate this from the wood here, I think. Yeah, I should start to break down now. And I got the for Christmas, Fantastic Four versus Galactus. It's so good to have some official Fantastic Four figures. Even though the thing's not a big fig. And I know the thing wasn't really that large in the movie. And that's probably why they made him a minifigure. But it's Lego, it's a toy. It's more fun to have a big figure. And Lego's more about fun. But then we've made the already expensive set more expensive as well. And technically less accurate. So maybe they made the right decision with that. And I got Spider-Man's apartment and the Spider-Verse bodega sets, and parents got me those, and they didn't realize that you could combine them, and they got them for me. So when I got them and I built them and I combined them, they're like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Like, it's good having I really liked the Spot. It was a character that I guess was mildly interesting in the comics, but the Spider-Verse TV show made him way more interesting. I've got the log here. Here we go. Then I got what was I going to show you for the gate. That's why. Man, I'm getting distracted so easily. Yeah, I think it's like that. Yep. I'm so glad Minecraft added the recipe book, because before the recipe book, unless you were to look online, there was no way to find crafting recipes other than trial and error. Like, I think actually that kind of probably helped make Minecraft so popular, because, in order to do essential aspects of the game, you had to look it up and talk to people about it or watch YouTube or whatever, and it, got people talking. But now that Minecraft is so big, they don't need extra help with advertisement like that. And people hated the recipe book when it came out. I don't understand why. It just makes everything easier. New players can actually do something, and there's so many recipes in Minecraft that it's impossible to know them all. Or not impossible, but quite difficult. Can't remember them all. But before the recipe book was added, I knew every Minecraft recipe. That was a point of pride as a child. I know them all. Hopefully there's snow that kills you. But as soon as I added it, I'm like, I don't need to know these anymore. I've totally forgotten most of them. Can we get down the water slide before it dissipates? Not certainly. Maybe I might make a giant roller coaster in this world. If I'm gonna be playing it every week, then surely I'll have time to make a roller coaster. But back to Lego sets. I love Ninjago. I got the Ninjago Tournament of Elements set. like all the Jade Blades. I came up with some Elemental Masters as well. Okay, I need more water. I got the Everyone is Awesome set, the Pride Flag set. I got, speaking of Ninjago, I'm loving Dragon's Rising, the newest version of Ninjago, and I'm loving, the Sora character. I got her mech from the first season of Dragon's Rising, Ninjago Dragon's Rising. Need to go over this way, I think, to get water. And I got her mech that it's like a cat themed mech, but it turns into a motorbike almost. Not quite buggy. I don't know. Kind of. It's hard to describe. Racer, and it's just such a cool set. And I got others. Getting pretty tired though. What's the time? 15 more minutes to stream, guys, I think. That's gonna be difficult to get out of. Let me keep that there. Over there. Cool. So let's just chill out on stream now, guys. Over here. There's stuff over there as well. What else do I have on my list? Let's do fun socks. That's a good one. I have a couple pairs of plain white socks, but otherwise all my other socks are fun. I only would wear those white socks for like funerals and weddings and that. But I think, things it is drowned and it's getting nighttime. It brings, it's, and I in school had to wear black socks or white socks plain, and then they would always get mixed up with my brothers and my dads and mums, right? And then they would be the first ones to claim the socks, so I would end up having no socks. So I originally, when I got out of school, the first thing I did was buy some new fun socks, and then that way nobody could say, oh, those socks are mine, not yours, or whatever. Oh, yep, creepers. I'm not looking at the message right now because... Oh, so close. Whoa. Yep, 2 creeper faces. Let me sleep now. More fun socks because they can't get confused this way. So all my socks have patterns. Some are from TV shows, some are from comic books, some are just plain. Like I just have these rainbow socks. I have these socks where they have the pansexual pride flag, which is one of my pride flags, and it just says nope, not today. And it's like that's a random combination of things. I don't think they intended to have the pansexual pride flag. It just 3 random colors they chose that look nice. The CMYK colors, without the K, I guess. Cyan, yellow, and magenta, and K for key, which is black. Okay, got the water. And that's fun. I got socks with love hearts, socks with donuts. I have a pair of socks with shoes on them, which are They're roller skates, but they're shoes. Ooh, right? And a pair of socks with feet on them. I've been trying to find a pair of socks with socks on them, so I can have all of them. But so I can have all of them. No, the whole trifecta. And so far, not had much luck. I'm not really one who does much online shopping. So that's great. I wonder what socks I have today. I got they're children's socks, but they're really tall children's socks. But they'll have little monsters. The socks themselves are the monsters, and they're kind of mismatched on purpose. Those are what I'm gonna be wearing today to the gym, I think. Yes, I know. The farm is definitely interesting. I need to learn a better way to make farms, but this is what I've been doing since I was a little kid. Okay, then how many seeds do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 16, 1, 2, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36 seeds. Let's just swap that around there. How many seeds do I have already? I know that logically. I'll make a better farm later. See, almost enough seeds. 4, 5, 37. Oh, I need to make a hoe. Well, I don't need the stone hoe. I'll make one anyway. And then, talking about fun socks, wasn't I? Oh, listen, if you've never dreamed before, I highly don't be like, oh, it looks easy. I thought this was gonna be way easier than it has been, but maybe it's because I'm an introvert. Maybe if I was an extrovert, it would be way less energy. And I've been playing Minecraft for almost 2 hours now, and I've had hardly any progress. Like if I was just playing single player by myself, it would be so much faster. Oh, with friends, but with friends, you're doing multiple things. You're working together, so you get more progress. Ooh. Okay. 10 more minutes, guys. 10 more minutes of stream. Or if you're watching the VOD of this later, 10 more minutes of YouTube. Or of this one particular video. I hope you guys have been finding it all right. I know it's not, I wouldn't choose to watch something like this over somebody who has done lots of streaming before. I'm fiddling with stuff on my desk. Who has, done lots of streaming before. But like I imagine only person that's gonna watch this is my lovely partner here. But I maybe in the future, if I start improving and people do start getting interested, then this might be like, oh, look back on their first stream. I've done streaming before when I was a kid, but that was just YouTube streaming, me sitting in front of a camera and or whatever. I don't have any of those new conflicts. Thank you. Um, it's been a lot easier having you here, not only for support, but also I could actually talk to someone. I don't have to talk to no one. Uh, should let's for the last 10 minutes, let's look at some of the Ben 10 new Ben 10 comic covers and have a little discussion about that because I love Ben 10 and something chill. And let me just switch over a second. Hello, there we go. I've switched tabs. Let's go. Yeah, I'll get the comic covers up. Um, uh, let's go to Dynamite website. You can't see what I'm doing. Go to Ben 10 number 1. Let me download the files. Download. 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 It's loading for me. And the last one, download. And let me go back into Streamlabs. Hello. Now let me add image, add source, add new source, add source, image file. And it's this one. Yep. You guys should be able to see that. But this is the, let's see if I can get it centered. No. Okay. That's all right there. I'll get a bit bigger. This is the cover for the new Ben 10. I'm so excited. This is done by the artist Robert Carey. He's going to be doing the interiors. He's the main artist for the series. And let's see. We have the the classic, or not the classic. We have the reboot series playlist for the aliens. Which has some of the most iconic aliens. Forearms in the middle here, heat blast up the top, accelerate to the left, and diamond head on the right with you can kind of figure out which ones is which. Those aliens are like the most marketable, I guess. And then you have some other iconic ones, particularly Cannonbolt, Grey Matter, and Upgrade. Upgrade's the tech one. Cannonbolt's the real ugly guy. Grey Matter's the guy with the brain. And then some more, not really fan favorites, but I think they're good additions, power-wise at least. And we got Stinkfly, who is flying, and Upgrade, one of my favorites. And then on the left, we have Overflow, who was introduced in the reboot, Great Water Alien, although he's not as creepy as with Jaws. He's definitely much more interesting in terms of power-wise. But one of the reasons why Rick Jaws was so good in the original series was because he was creepy. But all the aliens are creepy now, so it doesn't really. I don't see why you'd have. Yes, 2 hour mark. I got 5 minutes left because I started a bit early. It's awesome. Because I'll end at 3 o'clock. Whip Jaws was scary, and Overflow wasn't, and what was so cool about Rip Jaws is that he was kind of creepy, right? And scary. And Overflow was it, but now that Overflow is scary, then it doesn't really matter. He has everything about Rip Jaws I love now, and more. You have the Willow cover by Duncan Willow, which is he's one of the men of action, one of the four creators of Ben 10. Um, I'm not always a massive fan of his artwork, but this is my favorite cover, I think. Um, it's so well done. I love the flowiness to some of the aspects. I um, I love the designs are different because the designs were not finalized when making the comic. I love some changes that they did, like this scarf around forearms. It's a comic. It's a comic. It's exciting. So the aliens aren't going to look like this, but really, I love this Great Matter and this Cannon Bolt. But, this Overflow, I don't like as much as I'll Overflow. This Heat Blast is pretty similar. Roblox. Why Roblox? Blue Roblox cheer, yay! Um, maybe one day I can do a Roblox stream. Play some Roblox games. That'll be fun. Got 3 minutes. Let's quickly look at the other cover arts. This is uh Nguyen. Is that how you pronounce the name? I don't know. That's their last name. This one really pretty cover. It's watercolor. I love the design of the Omnitrix in this one. Um, okay, like different chats. This one marked as spam or something. Why is it? Oh, this Roblox cheer emote is a bit glitched in Streamlabs, but on the Twitch website it's fine. I don't know what's happening there. You guys can't see it, so I should have mentioned it. Yeah, this cover is really pretty. Reminds me of Peach Momoko, but in the terms of its watercolorness. And Peach Momoko is one of my favorite artists at the moment. Beautiful comics, beautiful art she does. But there's major differences as well, like the sharp lines and the detail in the Omnitrix is awesome. I know people don't really like it. I kind of like it. It's kind of alien. Just got a notification for a chat, but it hasn't appeared. Interesting. But let's have a look at the final two covers. I think. Yeah. This is Perez. Perez. Uh, this is, you know, Ben, and his forearms, power bursting out. Awesome cover. It, you know. And then let's look at the final cover. Uh, this one was my second favorite cover. I love the kind of monster amalgamation of the aliens. And I like this Omnitrix design as well. And that's about it. That's the stream for today, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Don't have a proper outro yet. Okay, enjoy the rest of your night.